This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
This is your WLCX Daily News Roundup for the Eagle 1490 AM in La Crosse.
For AM 1490 WLCX, I'm Jimmy Kuska. Both candidates for president will be in Wisconsin today to hold rallies. Republican Donald Trump is in Green Bay tonight, appearing at the Resch Center with former Packers quarterback Brett Favre. Democrat Kamala Harris is in Madison this evening, appearing with several musicians for a Get Out to Vote rally and concert. We'll have coverage of both rallies tonight right here on AM 1490 WLCX as part of the Civic Media Network. The election is on Tuesday. The two candidates are back in Wisconsin on Friday. With the election coming up on Tuesday, Senator Tammy Baldwin is on a statewide campaign tour. With more, here's Civic Media's Lisa Hale.
If Eric Hovde is elected to the U.S. Senate, the Affordable Care Act is on the chopping block, says U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, a piece of legislation that she helped write.
Back then, the big health insurance companies, even the small ones, had no obligation, no legal mandate to cover people who were sick or who had a pre-existing condition. So millions of people in America back then with battling cancer or asthma or diabetes, or me, a child with a pre-existing condition, we just went without health insurance. And we changed all that with the Affordable Care Act.
Baldwin's Get Out the Vote bus tour has covered over 1,300 miles across Wisconsin in over a week's worth of appearances. For Civic Media News, I'm Lisa Hale.
Baldwin is in the Fox Valley before heading to southwestern Wisconsin today. The election is on Tuesday. The most expensive political race in western Wisconsin's history is the battle for the 3rd District congressional seat held by first-term Republican Derek Van Orden. Nearly $12 million has been spent on the race, which is the most ever for the district and is also the most expensive competition for a congressional seat in Wisconsin this year. Van Orden has raised over $6.6 million so far, while Democratic challenger Rebecca Cook has raked in over $5.3 million as of October 16th. The election is on Tuesday. UW La Crosse is among the 8 four-year schools in the UW system to see an increase in enrollment this year. There are 10,458 students enrolled at UWL. The largest percentage jump was at UW Green Bay, which saw a 10.5% increase. Enrollment fell at 5 of the schools, including Eau Claire, Stout, and Platteville. Enrollment also dropped sharply at the UW's remaining 2-year branch campuses by 22%, including a 45% drop at UW Stevens Point's Marshfield campus. Today will mark a shift in the weather as we go from record warmth to our first real precipitation in over a month. With more, here's Civic Media meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Most of the state just went through 24 hours of record-breaking warmth. This morning, record warm overnight lows were felt across Wisconsin. Now, a potent cold front approaches, which will drag temperatures down a good 30 degrees or more. And with such a sharp difference ahead, expect storms to spark up tonight. Some could even be severe, especially in the southwest. The system will bring much-needed rain, heavy at times, especially into areas of central Wisconsin, where 2 inches of rain isn't out of the question. The entire state falls below freezing overnight and remains seasonal and much cooler to close the week. For Civic Media, I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
The Coulee region, which is in drought, could see over 3 inches of rain in some spots today. On Tuesday, Wisconsin voters in 121 school districts will be asked yes or no on referendum questions. Districts are seeking a total of over $4.2 billion from local taxpayers for operations and facilities projects. State Superintendent Jill Underly says the number of referendums is proof that public education is underfunded in Wisconsin.
School districts are telling us that they need more resources. Most public school districts have gone, are going, or will be forced to go to referendum just to make ends meet.
Underly has already announced DPI budget requests for next year, calling for over $300 million in youth mental health services, a free meals program for students, and an initiative to recruit and retain educators.
The DPI's next biennial budget request will again ask that we fully fund mental health aid for our students.
Just this year, school districts have asked 243 referendum questions for a total of nearly $6 billion in additional funding from local taxpayers. The La Crosse County Sheriff's Office is rolling out a new look near the end of 2024. The incoming wave of new squad vehicles will be black instead of brown. The Sheriff's Office said that the manufacturer of its squad cars, Ford, discontinued making tan-colored vehicles, so they had to redesign the look of its fleet. The new vehicles, which you can see on the Sheriff's Office social media page, are black with yellow lettering. The 6 new squad vehicles will be outfitted over the next several weeks before being put into service. Take Civic Media with you anywhere you go with the free Civic Media app. Download it now at civicmedia.us/app or get it on your device's app store. From Civic Media's Western Wisconsin newsroom, I'm Jimmy Kuska for AM 1490 WLCX and lacrosseeagle.com.
A Brewers coach signs an extension. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers have renewed the contract of pitching coach Chris Hook. The 56-year-old Hook, who has worked his way up in the organization for 20 years, signed a multi-year extension with the team yesterday. He's credited with developing the team's young pitching talent. The Yankees won Game 4 of the World Series last night in New York, 11-4 over the Dodgers. Game 5 is tonight, Los Angeles leading 3-1. NBA, the Bucks are in Memphis. They face the Grizzlies tomorrow night on Halloween. The NFL trade deadline is coming up next Tuesday. Yesterday, the Packers signed linebacker Jamin Davis to their practice squad. Davis had been a first-round pick for Washington 3 years ago and was asked how familiar he is with the Packers.
Ironically, I got a chance to watch him a little bit last year, and it's crazy now that I might actually get an opportunity to play for him. But currently, I'm just honestly soaking everything all in, and hopefully I can get to work and just watch as much film as possible.
That's Packers linebacker Jamin Davis with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. And just like that, we say goodbye to Halloween films and look forward to the start of the holiday box office season, which is just a couple weeks away. The season will open with an anticipated bang as Amazon MGM Studios is set to release its $200 million Santa Claus caper film, Red Santa, starring Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans. The film was set to go right to streaming, but tested so well with audiences, they're going theatrical. The film is estimated to make $36 million in its opening weekend. If you notice an uptick in original content in the next year, there is a reason. The 6 biggest global content companies are planning to spend almost 10% more than they did this year. That would be an increase to $126 billion geared toward new viewing options. Disney will lead the way, spending 9% more next year. Hopefully, it's not all on remakes and sequels. Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz are about to team up in a new film, Day Drinker. Yes, my fellow Wisconsinites, it is an awesome title. The film will tell the story of a cruise ship bartender, Depp, who befriends a mysterious day drinker played by Cruz, and they end up embroiled in a caper. This will be the 4th time Depp and Cruz grace the screen together after starring in Blow, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and Murder on the Orient Express. If you love Squid Game, you might love the new spin-off, which will be an American version. Deadline reports that the project will be led by director David Fincher, whose credits include films like The Game and Seven. This will be the first spin-off of the Korean show. Season 2 of the original Squid Game premieres December 26th of this year on Netflix. Producers say the 3rd and final season will also premiere sometime in 2025. Need more Nick Offerman in your TV viewing life? Yes, please. Variety reports Nick will join Elle Fanning and Michelle Pfeiffer in the new Apple TV show Margot's Got Money Troubles. Fanning plays a woman desperate for money who starts an OnlyFans site. Been there. Offerman plays her father, a retired pro wrestler, and Pfeiffer plays her mother, a Hooters waitress. The show is based on the Ruth Thorpe novel of the same name that was just recently released. The first season will offer 8 episodes. In a recent interview with the Associated Press, Hugh Grant says he killed 3 people. Of course, he did so whimsically and with that adorable accent and toothy grin. Grant is trying to get people's attention to go see his new movie, Heretic, in which he plays a creepy character named Mr. Reed. Grant appears to be moving on from his rom-com roles and looking for darker parts. I'm not saying the 64-year-old actor actually killed 3 people, but saying you did so in an effort to promote a movie really is the perfect cover. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Cloudy and breezy with scattered showers and thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Falling temperatures, too. We're going to drop to the low 60s by late afternoon. Rain and thunderstorms tonight down to 48. Breezy showers, 56 tomorrow. There could be a half inch to an inch or more of rain by the time it all winds down late tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Currently it's 71.
That's your WLCX Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lacrosseeagle.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.